And welcome to Rob Schmitt tonight. It appears Joe Biden is actually going to run for president in 2024, if you can believe that. The Hill reporting the administration preparing to launch his re-election campaign, saying Joe is all in. And as shocking as that is, in preparation, hoping to avoid attacks that he's never been to the southern border that he destroyed, Biden's handlers carted the president to El Paso on Sunday for one of the phoniest photo ops in presidential history. Biden visited the most sanitized version of El Paso imaginable, the White House, which has spent 2 years telling Americans that unchecked illegal immigration is a gift that makes us stronger. Well, they spent all of last week throwing migrant families out of their tent camps that cover the streets of El Paso and cleaning up all the garbage and human waste that they left behind. The transformation for Biden's visit was so blatantly unethical, it's almost hard to put it into words. Biden's trip was the most flagrant perversion of reality that we have seen so far, part of a dangerous trend from a White House that is emboldened by the knowledge that they completely own the mainstream media and all that comes with that. The White House fully embracing the spoils of non-transparency like an authoritarian regime, a reminder that while they scream about saving democracy, they actually love to subvert it. Not a surprise. Remember, this White House was just caught blatantly lying about the official jobs numbers in the lead up to the midterm election, claiming they had added over 1 million jobs in the second quarter of 2022. The real number was 10,000. It's clear who we're dealing with here. Biden's border trip avoided reality in every possible manner. The president, in his 3-hour pit stop, did not see one migrant. In a relatively small city on the Rio Grande that saw 55,000 migrants detained last month, Biden didn't see one. Think of how hard it's got to be to go to El Paso and not see an illegal immigrant. I'd say it's almost impossible. Biden also managed to not see Donald Trump's highly effective wall on his visit to the border either, although he did see a wall, which is how you get pictures like this. That's how he was able to walk along the border without even one politically damaging picture of migrants crossing near him. Biden never saw the real despair of El Paso, Texas, a city in such turmoil. The Democrat mayor has declared an emergency. On the left is El Paso in these pictures, the two on the left, I should say, before Biden arrived. On the right is El Paso after a nice federal government scrub just before Biden's visit. Biden essentially went to El Paso County's Migrant Support Center for another photo op. His staff cleared the entire place out for him, so Biden could stare at a pre-wrapped sandwich like it was a Martian food recovered from a spaceship at Roswell. Very bizarre photo op there. Nobody in the building. Think about the optics of that. Clear all these migrants out of here so Joe Biden can pretend there's not a problem. The party of empathy. In summation, Joe Biden did not see the real border, not because they want to hide the reality from him, of course, he knows how bad it is, because they want to hide it from you, and they think you're that dumb. The trip was so fake, even Biden's friends in the mainstream media were forced to call it out. Local news here from El Paso. Take a look.
Didn't look like he was going to be headed to downtown El Paso, which is where we had seen many of the migrants who had been living on the streets of.
But so far, I mean, this is very much a dog and pony show.
Pretty much a dog and pony show, yes, it was. Texas's Governor Greg Abbott met Biden at the airport, handed him a letter saying your visit to our southern border with Mexico today is $20 billion and 2 years too late. Your visit avoids the sites where mass illegal immigration occurs and sidesteps the thousands of angry Texas property owners whose lives have been destroyed by your border policies. Of course, they don't care. Even the city you visit has been sanitized in the migrant camps, which had overrun downtown El Paso because your administration wants to shield you from the chaos that Texans experience on a daily basis, from the letter that Joe Biden never read. For millions of Americans, it's hard to describe how insulting it is to live in a country with such a warped ideology at the top. When we first started saying open borders, it actually kind of sounded like a joke, right? It was something that no serious person could actually believe in. Now it's not only real, it's actually our country's policy, even though they try to deny it. Your government lies to you every single day as they slowly empty out South and Central America right into your backyard, and then they tell you if you don't like it, you're probably a racist. And then they have a panic attack when a single busload of these people end up outside the Starbucks in their quaint village square. They gaslight you by telling you that this country has always accepted the poor, huddled masses, which of course we did, long before the United States became a welfare state, before a family of four could make $80,000 a year living off government entitlements like you can in more than a dozen states today. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that open border plus that kind of welfare, it's not sustainable. The truth is, your government cares more about its agenda than your quality of life. And open borders are part of a very broad scheme of socializing this country, of course. And they're not doing this because they care for migrants. You'd have to be a fool to believe that. If they actually did, they'd care about the fact that they're enabling cartels that slaughter people and coyotes that rape and traffic women and children. The illusion that all of this is coming from some place of virtue is simply asinine at this point. This is simply another scheme to eviscerate your country because it's useful to them. Because to the far left, which they pander to constantly, a safe, clean, functioning first world nation, of course, is a sign of inequality. And that's how these people think. Listen to George Stephanopoulos interview Alejandro Mayorkas yesterday, the seven-figure news anchor who's curiously never used all of his money to adopt a migrant family, ignoring the chaos created by Mayorkas and Joe Biden and asking why they're not trying to make it worse.
Your allies say that the administration's continued use of this Title 42 authority is what the problem is right now, and the administration has the ability to end that policy on its own.
George, we've tried to end the use of Title 42. We sought to end it, and we were prevented from doing so by a district court in Louisiana. So we cannot use our ordinary immigration authorities to the fullest extent we've tried to.
George Stephanopoulos, looking at the full scale of the disaster that is immigration in this country, says, why haven't you gotten rid of Title 42? Why are you, why is it that you can't figure out some way to do this, even though the courts won't allow it? Why are we still preventing some people from coming in? Why aren't we full throttle open borders? Journalism. A leftist government working in tandem with left-wing media, it is simply a race toward pure chaos, and they're getting there pretty quickly.